My name is Thea, and I am from Cody, Wyoming. I learned about Dr. Lamb about 6 years ago when I began having issues with my heart, and I was not satisfied with anything that the medical establishment could provide me with as far as answers. So I went on my own, and I learned of an article that Dr. Lamb had written about lone atrial fibrillation. From that article, I garnered a lot of important information and was able to set forth healing myself. It was simple things like changing my diet, adding some supplements, getting plenty of rest. It made sense, and it worked. I'd never forgotten his name, and so 2.5 years ago, when I began having extreme fatigue issues where I couldn't sleep, but I was so tired, and I was having terrible night sweats, and the brain fog was so bad that I couldn't remember my friend's name that I'd known since high school, or I'd stop in mid-sentence because the word that I wanted to say had just dropped out of my mind and it had gone blank. And I was terribly discouraged. I wasn't feeling well at all. I could hardly function in my daily life. I was a single mother, also taking care of my elderly grandmother, and I was under a lot of stress and a lot of pressure, and frankly, I'd been that way for a long time. But I knew I had to do something, and that something was do some more research. I remembered Dr. Lamb, and so I got online and I found his website and started reading. From that website, I learned that I had many of the markers for adrenal fatigue syndrome. I felt that this was someone that could help me in my quest to feel better. So I took the survey, I contacted them and said, please, I want to be a part of your program, and started in mid-December 2.5 years ago. I was thrilled with the possibility of learning more about myself and being able to heal the symptoms that I was having. And he started out with a number of tests, common tests as we would think about it, using common foods, testing things before I went to sleep. How did I sleep? How did I not sleep? How did I react to salt? How did I react to a simple supplement? Told him volumes. And I worked with him on a weekly basis for a number of months. Through that program, I learned so much about myself and consistently saw healing. I was also very impressed that he treated me as an individual. It wasn't a one-size-fits-all program. When it came to helping me, he took into my own individual scenario into account, and we worked on a plan together. He was very conscientious that I had to meet a budget, and therefore, if I could use things that I already had in my home, already had in my refrigerator, in my cupboards, already had in my toolbox to use, he taught me how to use them. That meant so much to me. From working with Dr. Lamb, I graduated to working with Doreen and continue to work with her today because it took a while. It took a good year to get myself really back on my feet, and I suffered some severe crashes in there. One of them is when I felt like I was good to go, and I stopped taking some of the major supplements, largely for financial reasons, but also because I was feeling good. I didn't think I needed them anymore. And I crashed. I crashed badly. But they helped me regain my footing, and we slowly built up again. I built up reserves, and I learned. I learned how to read my body. I learned what was very important that I had to do on a daily basis. I learned to keep doing my adrenal breathing when I was feeling stressed. I learned how to add the certain supplements and reached back into my toolbox of all the nutritional elements that Dr. Lamb had taught me, and to help those times when I was feeling extremely stressed and knew that my body was under significant forces and that I had to do something to help it. I feel very grateful to Dr. Lamb and Doreen for their patience and their help through the last 2.5 years. I continue to be on their list and work with them now on a 3 to 6 month basis. I feel very good about my work with them. I know my body. I know how to read it. I'm understanding what I need to do if I get low on energy and not sleeping well. They've given me the power to heal myself and to read what's going on, and I'm very appreciative of that. I highly recommend their program to anyone. In fact, many of my peers, my contemporary girlfriends, are having issues with postmenopausal, menopausal, or PMS issues, and I just smile because I don't. What has been given so often as menopausal symptoms were simply adrenal fatigue symptoms with me, and Dr. Lamb and Doreen have helped me through that. I feel so good. I don't have night sweats. I don't have any PMS. And I tell everyone who will listen to me about it. If they are dedicated and they want to learn about their bodies and know that they don't have to go through this, that it is not a hormonal imbalance, it is their adrenals that are causing the issues, then they too can feel as good as I can. I have so many people comment to me that I look so much younger than I really am, and that I'm so healthy. And honestly, I feel more healthy now than I have most of my life. Even though I've always worked out, I've always felt that I've been in good health, I've always had crashes, and I've always had times when I just couldn't go any further. And I thought it was just me. Well, in a way it was. But in the big picture, it was really what I was doing to myself and my poor adrenals. So I highly recommend this program, and I hope that everyone will at least give it a try that is suffering any of the symptoms of adrenal fatigue. Thank you, Dr. Lamb. Thank you, Doreen.